Hi guys, welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the swirling romantic entanglements and high-stakes drama surrounding Emma Scorpio Drake, Vaughn, and Jocelyn Jacks. The latest episode airing on Monday, July 7th, has set the stage for an explosive storyline that could change the course of several characters' lives in unexpected ways. With whispers of romance, hidden agendas, and shocking revelations on the horizon, let's explore the intricate web of relationships, the potential pitfalls of deception, and the dramatic consequences that might unfold in the days to come at Port Charles. The setup, a tangled web of deception and desire. The drama kicked off with a cleverly devised plan between Jocelyn Jacks and Vaughn, a mysterious WSB agent with an enigmatic past. Their mission was to divert Emma Scorpio Drake's attention from her suspicious fascination with Professor Henry Hank Dalton, a figure shrouded in secrecy and potential danger. To accomplish this, the duo orchestrated a Fox relationship, presenting themselves as a couple to throw Emma off the scent of their covert investigation into the professor's activities. Their ruse included staged moments of affection, carefully timed to ensure Emma would notice, all while they rummaged through Dalton's office for clues. But as with any scheme in Port Charles, the lines between fiction and reality began to blur, creating a ripple effect of emotions that no one anticipated. On the surface, their plan seemed foolproof. Jocelyn and Vaughn enacted a dramatic public breakup at the bustling Metro Court pool during the July 7th episode. The scene was loud, emotional, and impossible to ignore, complete with raised voices and tearful accusations that drew every eye in the vicinity, including Emma's. The goal was to paint Vaughn as a heartbroken soul, vulnerable and in need of comfort, a perfect target for Emma's empathetic nature. The ploy worked like a charm. Emma, with her characteristic warmth, approached Vaughn under the guise of offering solace, a cool drink in hand as she settled beside him. As they chatted, the tension of the day melted away, replaced by an unexpected spark. Under the vibrant bursts of 4th of July fireworks illuminating the night sky, their conversation turned flirtatious, and Emma found herself drawn closer to Vaughn, their hands brushing as they shared a quiet laugh. Meanwhile, Jocelyn watched from a distance, her expression a mix of frustration and something deeper, jealousy, perhaps hinting at feelings she hadn't fully acknowledged. Unraveling emotions, a dangerous attraction. As Emma and Vaughn's connection blossomed in that fleeting moment by the pool, it became clear that this was no longer just a game of distraction. There was a genuine pull between them, a chemistry that transcended their initial intentions. For Emma, who had recently been navigating a complicated bond with Giovanni Joe Palmieri, this new interaction offered a refreshing escape. Joe, burdened by unresolved family conflicts and personal struggles, had been unable to fully commit to exploring their budding romance. His absence left a void in Emma's life, one that Vaughn seemed poised to fill with his intriguing mix of charm and mystery. But Vaughn himself remains an enigma. Is he truly the cold, calculated WSB operative he appears to be, or does a softer, more vulnerable side lie beneath his guarded exterior? His cryptic demeanor often coming across as aloof or even unsettling could be a carefully crafted facade, a defense mechanism honed by years of undercover work. Only time, and more screen time in Port Charles, will reveal whether Vaughn's intentions toward Emma are genuine or part of a broader, more sinister agenda. For now, the trajectory of this storyline feels almost inevitable. Emma, with her open heart and trusting nature, seems destined to fall deeply for Vaughn. Her university life, filled with academic pressures and the weight of her family legacy, leaves her yearning for a connection that feels exciting and real. Vaughn, with his worldly experience and mysterious allure, offers just that a whirlwind escape from the mundane. But what begins as a harmless flirtation could quickly spiral into something more intense. As their bond deepens, will Vaughn reciprocate her feelings, or will he remain tethered to his mission, using her affection as a means to an end? The latter seems increasingly likely, especially considering Jocelyn's role in this complex drama. Watching Emma cozy up to Vaughn has stirred a storm of emotions in Jocelyn, who may be grappling with her own unspoken attraction to her former pretend partner. Her lingering glances and subtle irritation at the pool suggest a heart conflicted, torn between duty and desire. The stakes rise, a potential scandal with devastating consequences. As the fireworks faded on that fateful July evening, the real explosions in this storyline are yet to come. If Vaughn and Emma's budding romance ignites into a full-blown affair, the consequences could be catastrophic. Imagine a scenario where their passion overrides caution, leading to an intimate encounter that neither planned nor anticipated. The possibility looms large that Emma, caught up in the heat of the moment, could find herself pregnant, a twist that would send shockwaves through Port Charles and beyond. Such a development would not only derail Vaughn's carefully constructed mission but also place Emma in an incredibly vulnerable position. As a young university student with her whole future ahead of her, an unexpected pregnancy would force her to confront life-altering decisions, testing her resilience and the strength of her support system. The fallout from such a revelation would be nothing short of chaotic. Anna Devane, Emma's fiercely protective grandmother and a force to be reckoned with, would undoubtedly unleash her wrath upon Vaughn. Known for her no-nonsense attitude and deep loyalty to her family, Anna would not hesitate to hold Vaughn accountable for what she'd perceive as a gross misuse of trust. Her reaction could range from a scathing confrontation to enlisting her own WSB connections to ensure Vaughn faces severe repercussions. After all, as a seasoned operative herself, Anna understands the blurred lines of undercover work but would draw a hard line at personal betrayal, especially when it endangers her granddaughter's well-being. Vaughn, for his part, might find himself regretting the day he agreed to Jocelyn's plan, realizing too late that emotions are far messier than any mission briefing. A double betrayal, Jocelyn's heart in the crossfire. Complicating matters further is Jocelyn's own entanglement with Vaughn. While their relationship was initially a facade, the undercurrent of genuine attraction between them has been palpable from the start. In a stunning twist, let's consider the possibility that Jocelyn, overwhelmed by her conflicted feelings, seeks solace in Vaughn's arms after witnessing his growing closeness with Emma. One night of vulnerability could lead to a passionate encounter, a secret neither can fully bury. Weeks later, the truth comes crashing down. Jocelyn discovers she, too, is pregnant with Vaughn's child. The revelation would shatter the fragile dynamics between the trio, thrusting them into a crisis of epic proportions. Vaughn, now facing the unimaginable reality of having fathered children with both women, would be forced to confront the consequences of his actions. His carefully curated image as a detached, mission-focused agent would crumble, exposing the human flaws beneath. This double pregnancy bombshell would create a storm of drama unparalleled in recent General Hospital history. Jocelyn, already wrestling with jealousy and guilt over her role in manipulating Emma, would now bear the weight of a shared secret that could destroy friendships and fracture trust forever. Emma, upon learning of Jocelyn's condition, might feel deeply betrayed, not only by Vaughn but by her close confidant who orchestrated this tangled mess in the first place. And Vaughn, he'd be caught in an impossible position, torn between duty, personal desires, and the monumental responsibility of impending fatherhood twice over. How will he navigate this minefield? Will he attempt to salvage one relationship at the expense of the other, or will he retreat entirely, leaving both women to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives? The bigger picture, WSB training and personal failures. At the heart of this narrative lies a stark reminder of the perils inherent in WSB operations. Vaughn, trained under the same rigorous protocols that Jocelyn is now learning, embodies the reality that even the most skilled agents are not immune to personal missteps. His involvement in this romantic deception, originally intended as a strategic maneuver, highlights a critical flaw: the inability to separate emotion from mission. If Emma's potential pregnancy or worse, dual pregnancies with both women comes to light, it would stand as a glaring testament to Vaughn's failure to maintain professional boundaries. The WSB, an organization built on discretion and control, would likely view this as a significant breach, potentially jeopardizing Vaughn's standing within their ranks. Could this mark the end of his covert career, or will he find a way to mitigate the damage before it's too late? Beyond the immediate personal ramifications, this storyline also offers a broader commentary on the sacrifices demanded by a life of espionage. Agents like Vaughn often operate in moral gray areas, where right and wrong blur under the weight of necessity. Yet, when personal lives intersect with professional obligations, the cost can be devastating. For Emma and Jocelyn, the consequences of Vaughn's choices could redefine their futures, forcing them to grow up faster than they ever imagined. For Vaughn, this could be a painful lesson in the limits of control, a reminder that the heart often defies even the most meticulous plans. Next, We will uncover the thrilling developments and dramatic twists awaiting us in Port Charles for the week of July 14th to 18th. From shocking secrets spilling out of mysterious labs to heart-wrenching personal crises and unexpected romantic entanglements, the upcoming episodes promise a roller coaster of emotions and surprises. Let's delve into the intricate storylines, explore the hidden connections, and speculate on the jaw-dropping moments that could redefine relationships and alliances in this beloved town. Secrets Unleashed, or Professor Dalton's Lab Under Scrutiny. The week kicks off with a storm of intrigue surrounding Professor Henry Hank Dalton's laboratory, a place long whispered to harbor dark and dangerous secrets. Jason Morgan, ever the protector of Port Charles, takes on a perilous mission to infiltrate the lab and unearth the truth behind Dalton's enigmatic experiments. Rumors have swirled for weeks about possible unethical practices. Could there be groundbreaking medical discoveries gone awry, or perhaps evidence of something far more sinister, like bioengineering with criminal intent? As Jason navigates the high-security facility, dodging surveillance cameras and encrypted locks, he might stumble upon documents or files that hint at a connection to a familiar face returning to town. With Kelly Thibault slated to reprise her role as Dr. Britt Westburn sometime in July, could the bridge be tied to Dalton's shadowy work? Perhaps she's been collaborating with him in secret, or worse, is a victim of his manipulations. Jason's findings could set the stage for a dramatic reunion, laced with tension and unanswered questions about Britt's true motives upon her return. Adding to the speculation, the buzz around Britt's name in recent episodes fuels excitement among fans. If Jason uncovers a link between her and Dalton, maybe a shared project or a hidden correspondence, it could pull him deeper into a web of deception. Imagine Jason discovering an old photograph or a coded message in the lab that bears Britt's signature, hinting at a past alliance or a betrayal. Such a revelation would not only reignite old flames of conflict but also test Jason's loyalty as he decides whether to protect Britt's secret or expose it to safeguard the town. Only time will reveal the depths of this mystery, but one thing is certain: the lab holds answers that could shake the foundations of Port Charles. Sonny's revenge and unexpected allies. Elsewhere, the air is thick with vengeance as Sonny Corinthos plots a fierce retaliation against Jen Sidwell for the chaos unleashed at Charlie's. With tempers flaring and old grudges resurfacing, Sonny enlists an unlikely ally in Giovanni Joe Palmieri, whose youthful energy and determination make him a surprising asset in this high-stakes game. Together, they strategize a bold strike, potentially putting Marco Rios in the crosshairs as collateral damage. Picture a clandestine meeting in a dimly lit warehouse by the docks, where Sonny lays out a meticulous plan to dismantle Sidwell's operations, while Joe, eager to prove his worth, suggests a risky undercover maneuver to gather intel. This alliance could mark a turning point for Joe, offering him a chance to step out of the shadows of his family drama and into a role of significance, even if it means walking a dangerous path. Gio's involvement doesn't stop at street-level retribution. His promise to assist in other matters could intertwine with Jason's investigation into Dalton's lab, perhaps providing crucial information or a key contact that helps unlock the lab's secrets. Imagine Joe overhearing a conversation at Charlie's about a delivery to Dalton's facility, tipping Jason off to a critical window of opportunity. This act of support would not only solidify Gio's standing with Sonny but also showcase his resourcefulness, painting him as a rising star in the complex dynamics of Port Charles' underworld. However, such boldness comes with risks. Will Joe overstep and draw unwanted attention, or will his actions cement a newfound respect from those around him? Sasha's nightmare and Willow's devious maneuvers. On the domestic front, Sasha Gilmore Corbin faces a harrowing ordeal as the aftermath of a disturbing incident continues to haunt her. Initially believing her daughter Daisy had been kidnapped during the July 8th episode, Sasha's relief at finding her safe in the vicinity was short-lived. Whispers around the Quartermain mansion suggest Sasha might be grappling with postpartum struggles, casting doubt on her mental stability. But the true culprit behind the scare is revealed to be Willow Tate, whose manipulative streak shows no signs of waning. Picture Sasha, still shaken, reviewing security footage late at night, her heart sinking as she spots Willow's familiar figure near Daisy's room during the time of the incident, a chilling realization of betrayal by someone she trusted. The week of July 14th promises even greater havoc from Willow, Michael Corinthos' ex, whose obsession with creating chaos seems boundless. Perhaps she orchestrates a public confrontation at the hospital, accusing Sasha of negligence in front of a crowd, further fueling the rumors of postpartum issues. This calculated move could isolate Sasha, driving a wedge between her and her support system, while Willow revels in the discord she's sown. Meanwhile, Michael, torn between past loyalties and present responsibilities, might find himself drawn into the conflict, desperately seeking answers. Could he uncover Willow's schemes through a heartfelt conversation with a mutual friend, or will her deception spiral further, endangering more than just reputations? Rocco's rebellion and a brotherly bond. Heartache grips the Falconeri family as Rocco Falconeri spirals into turmoil following devastating news about Britt Westburn. The emotional fallout leaves Lula Spencer and Dante Falconeri frantic, watching helplessly as their son wrestles with grief and confusion. Spoilers tease that Rocco might take a drastic step, perhaps packing a small bag and sneaking out under the cover of night, determined to escape the weight of his pain by skipping town. Imagine Dante and Lulu discovering his empty room at dawn, a hastily scribbled note on his desk hinting at his destination, sending them into a frantic search across Port Charles. Enter Joe Palmieri, Rocco's older brother, who could emerge as the hero of the hour. With his keen instincts and deep care for family, Joe might track Rocco to a bus station on the outskirts of town, just moments before he boards a late-night ride to nowhere. A tense, emotional exchange could unfold under the flickering neon lights, with Joe convincing Rocco to return home by sharing his own struggles and promising to face the pain together. This rescue would not only redeem Joe in Dandy's eyes but also forge a stronger bond between the brothers, offering a rare moment of unity. However, such a daring act might ruffle feathers elsewhere. Brooklyn Quartermain Chase, ever protective of family dynamics, could view Gio's growing closeness to Dante and Lulu with suspicion, setting the stage for future friction. Romantic tensions, Trina and Kai on the brink. Love and betrayal collide for Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor, whose relationship hangs by a fragile thread thanks to interference from Drew Kane. The burning question looms, will Trina discover that Kai betrayed her trust by leaking sensitive information about Jacinda to the congressman? Envision a heated moment at Kelly's diner, where Trina overhears a cryptic phone call between Kai and Drew, her heart racing as she pieces together the deception. If this secret unravels, it could spell the end for the couple, shattering Trina's faith in Kai and leaving their romance in ruins. The fallout would be a bitter pill for Trina, who has fought hard for stability amid Port Charles' constant turmoil. Adding fuel to Trina's emotional fire is her mentor and friend, Ava Jerome, whose own romantic entanglements stir the pot. Ava's interactions with Cody Bell have grown increasingly charged. Cold another stolen kiss be on the horizon during a late-night encounter at the gallery, hidden among the shadows of art and unspoken desires. If so, Cody risks more than just gossip. He's playing a dangerous game that could jeopardize any future with Molly Lansing Davis. Imagine Molly walking in at the worst possible moment, her shock turning to fury as she storms out, vowing to confide in her father, Rick Lansing. Such a revelation would be a twisted victory for Christina Corinthos Davis, who might seize the opportunity to turn the tables in her own favor, reveling in the chaos Cody's actions have unleashed. Next, we will unravel the intense power plays and dangerous secrets simmering in Port Charles as Drew Kane gains a potentially game-changing leverage. This week promises a whirlwind of scheming, risky alliances, and high-stakes confrontations that could alter the balance of power in town forever. With bribery scandals, hidden agendas, and personal vendettas at the forefront, let's dive into the twists and turns surrounding Drew, Jen Sidwell, and the battle for custody that might just be the tip of a very dangerous iceberg. A shocking revelation at Windermere, the bribery bombshell. The drama ignites with a clandestine encounter at the hauntingly majestic Windermere, where whispers of corruption echo through its shadowy halls. Ezra Boyle, a cunning opportunist with a knack for being in the right place at the wrong time, finds himself privy to a conversation that could shake the foundations of Port Charles' legal system. Hidden behind a heavy oak door, Ezra overhears a heated exchange between the ruthless Jen Sidwell and Judge Eva Heron, a figure of supposed impartiality. In a hushed but venomous tone, Judge Heron reveals a damning truth: Sidwell paid her a hefty sum to tip the scales in Michael Corinthos' favor, granting him full custody of his children in a recent court ruling. But the conversation doesn't end there. Heron presses Sidwell for a reciprocal favor, perhaps a push for her own political ambitions or a financial safeguard. hinting at a deeper web of mutual exploitation. Ezra, with his sharp instincts, immediately recognizes the goldmine he's stumbled upon, envisioning a way to turn this overheard secret into a substantial personal gain. Sensing an opportunity to line his pockets, Ezra decides to play his cards with precision. He continues his routine business with Sidwell, coolly discussing strategies for Proposition Call controversial local ordinance and plans to dismantle Sonny Corinthos' influence in Port Charles. Their meeting unfolds under the guise of normalcy, with Ezra betraying no hint of the explosive knowledge he now possesses. Picture them sipping aged whiskey in Sidwell's dimly lit study, maps and documents sprawled across a mahogany desk, as Ezra nods thoughtfully at Sidwell's directives, all while mentally calculating his next move. As soon as the meeting concludes, Ezra slips away into the foggy night, a sly smirk curling his lips as he plots how to leverage this information for maximum profit. A price for power, Ezra's deal with Drew. With the secret burning a hole in his mind, Ezra wastes no time in approaching Drew Kane, a man desperate for any edge in the ongoing turmoil surrounding Willow Tate's custody battle. Their meeting takes place in a discreet corner of the Metro Court, away from prying eyes and curious ears, where the clink of coffee cups masks their low, urgent conversation. Ezra, with a glint of opportunism in his eyes, teases Drew with the promise of information that could turn the tide in Willow's favor. Critical intel about the corrupt underpinnings of Michael's custody victory. Drew, his patience wearing thin after months of legal setbacks, leans in, his voice a mix of hope and suspicion as he demands to know more. But Ezra isn't one to give away something for nothing. He proposes a deal, a hefty donation to his burgeoning mayoral campaign in exchange for the bombshell revelation. Imagine Drew's jaw tightening, his mind racing through the ethical quagmire of paying for information, yet driven by a fierce promise to Willow to reunite her with her children. After a tense moment of deliberation, Drew reluctantly agrees to the terms, wiring a substantial sum to Ezra's campaign fund under an innocuous alias to avoid suspicion. With the transaction complete, Ezra delivers the shocking news: Sidwell orchestrated a bribe to Judge Harron to ensure Michael gained full custody. The revelation hits Drew like a freight train, his mind immediately piecing together a sinister puzzle. Could this be Sidwell's warped attempt to atone for past misdeeds, perhaps linked to the devastating fire at Sonny's penthouse that left Michael injured? Drew recalls the chaos of that night, the acrid smell of smoke, the flickering emergency lights, and Michael's pain cries and wonders if Sidwell's guilt drove him to manipulate the court as a form of twisted compensation. Armed with this knowledge, Drew's resolve hardens, but so does the weight of danger. He knows he's stepping into a lion's den by challenging a man as ruthless as Sidwell. A dangerous game, Drew's leverage and Sidwell's warning. Now holding a weapon of immense potential, Drew contemplates his next move with a mix of determination and dread. In a bold confrontation, he arranges a private meeting with Sidwell at a secluded pier, the salty breeze and distant ship horns creating an eerie backdrop to their standoff. Drew, his voice steady despite the storm brewing within, subtly hints at his knowledge of the bribery scandal, watching Sidwell's expression for any crack in his stoic facade. Sidwell, ever the master of control, counters with icy precision, dismissing Drew's insinuations with a chilling warning: without concrete proof, any accusation is mere hearsay, and it would be in Drew's best interest to keep silent. Picture Sidwell's piercing gaze, his tone laced with menace as he reminds Drew of their shared goal: removing Sonny Corinthos from the Port Charles power structure. It's a tenuous alliance at best, built on mutual benefit rather than trust, and Sidwell banks on Drew's pragmatism to maintain their fragile truce. Yet Drew's loyalty to Willow burns brighter than any strategic alliance. He made a heartfelt vow to help her reclaim her children, and this bribery scandal could be the key to overturning the court's ruling. Back at his office, Drew pores over legal documents and phone records late into the night, the glow of his laptop casting shadows on his determined face as he searches for any shred of evidence: a bank transfer, a recorded conversation, anything to substantiate Ezra's claims. He reaches out to old contacts in the legal underworld, discreetly inquiring about Judge Harron's reputation and any potential paper trail linking her to Sidwell. Every step, however, feels like walking a tightrope. Drew knows that digging too deep could provoke Sidwell's wrath, endangering not only himself but Willow and her children as well. Sidwell's counterplay, a ruthless opponent ahead. And beknownst to Drew, Sidwell isn't one to be easily outmaneuvered. With his vast network of informants and a keen sense for self-preservation, Sidwell quickly senses that Drew is sniffing around for proof of the bribery. Perhaps he notices an uptick in encrypted calls from Drew's known associates or catches wind of a private investigator asking pointed questions about Judge Harron at a local bar. Sidwell, sitting in his opulent office with a glass of bourbon in hand, plots a counter-strategy with cold calculation. He might instruct a loyal operative to plant false leads, sending Drew on a wild goose chase, or tighten security around Harron, ensuring no incriminating evidence surfaces. Envision Sidwell orchestrating a late-night meeting with the judge herself, impressing upon her the dire consequences of any loose ends, his words dripping with thinly veiled threats. This cat-and-mouse game escalates the danger to unprecedented levels for Drew. Sidwell's resources and ruthlessness make him a formidable adversary, one who has crushed opponents far more seasoned than Drew in the past. By challenging Sidwell, Drew risks not just legal or political repercussions but physical harm, a late-night ambush on a deserted road, or a targeted attack meant to silence him for good. Willow, too, could become a pawn in this deadly game, her safety compromised as Sidwell seeks to protect his empire. The stakes couldn't be higher. Drew must decide whether to press forward, risking everything for justice, or back down, preserving his life but breaking his promise to Willow. The bigger picture, alliances and betrayals in Port Charles. As this intricate drama unfolds, the broader implications for Port Charles come into sharp focus. Sidwell's machinations with Proposition C, a piece of legislation that could reshape local governance and business interests, see into his vendetta against Sonny, creating a tangled web of politics and personal grudges. Drew's involvement, initially driven by a desire to aid Willow, now positions him as a potential disruptor in this larger power struggle. If he succeeds in exposing the bribery, it could not only restore custody to Willow but also deal a significant blow to Sidwell's influence, possibly weakening his grip on Proposition C and his anti-Sonny crusade. However, failure could cement Sidwell's dominance, painting Drew as a reckless fool who overplayed his hand. Adding another layer of complexity is the dynamic between Drew and Michael Corinthos. Though currently at odds over custody, their shared history and family ties might come into play. Imagine a tense, unexpected encounter at the Quartermain mansion where Drew, burdened by his newfound knowledge, hints at a deeper conspiracy surrounding the court ruling. Michael, unaware of Sidwell's manipulations, might initially dismiss Drew as bitter, but a seed of doubt could take root, prompting him to dig into the ruling's legitimacy himself. Such a development could either mend or further fracture their relationship, depending on whether truth unites them against a common foe or drives a permanent wedge of mistrust. What lies ahead? A battle of wits and wills. As the week progresses, Port Charles braces for the fallout of Drew's pursuit of justice against Sidwell's ironclad control. Will Drew unearth the proof he needs to expose the bribery and reunite Willow with her children, or will Sidwell's cunning keep the truth buried, leaving Drew to face dire consequences? The battle lines are drawn, and every move carries the weight of life-altering repercussions. Has Drew finally met his match in Sidwell, a foe whose ruthlessness knows no bounds, or will his determination and resourcefulness carve a path to victory? Stay tuned to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel for every heart-pounding update on this unfolding saga. What do you think? Can Drew outsmart Sidwell and secure justice for Willow, or is he stepping into a trap from which there's no escape? Share your predictions and theories in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation buzzing as we witness the clash of titans in Port Charles.